What's up? This is Levi from Miss May I, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Welcome back. It's so good to see you again.
Yeah, good seeing you. I know it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you don't remember because you talked to a bunch of people, but we've chatted a million times on Warped, and I know when you've been through the Richmond area a few times, and always been a big fan. So it's great to see you guys back.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's crazy to be back. It feels awesome.
What have you been doing for this? It's been like what, 6 years, 7 years?
Well, since we've been back out.
Yeah,
since new music.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, since new music. We were still touring, but we were like, it was like our longest cycle. It was like a couple of years, but like, man, I don't know. We had some families, so a couple of us had kids. We got some we sort of settled down. Some of us got some homes, and I did like the remodel home thing. Got into that kind of stuff like while we were off. People got like into other things. Working on a bunch of new music. Yeah, it's been cool. But it honestly has felt exactly the same, just prolonged. So everything's the same, just longer. Yeah.
And you guys, I guess it was a good time to step away because the whole world went to crap anyway. So you kind of fit right into it, right?
Oh my God, it was a blessing. Like I could have never asked for anything better. It was awesome. Yeah, like the little ones came and we're like, man, we really don't want to tour and miss this. And it's like, hope the world stopped. We're like, darn, I guess we're gonna have to stay at home with the kids. Like this is horrible. Yeah, it's the best.
What's it like being?
And we got to work on.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was saying, yeah, and we got to just work on music too, which was like we never had that much time. So, and we just took a break, which was cool. So.
What's it like to be back on the road again and doing it? Because things have changed a lot.
It's cool. It was that. Yeah, it's cool. It honestly, like, for real, for the first like 3 or 4 days, it was weird. Like, it was just surreal. Like, even on stage, usually I don't want to think on stage. I like to like just zone out and play the show. But when I start thinking, I know I feel like I'm freaking out. And I was thinking too much on the last shows because I was just like, just missing it so much. And then being there and seeing it, you're like, this is crazy. And just seeing people like no mask, crowd surfing, like everything's just exactly like it used to be. I was like, this is weird. Like it took me a few days to really, and I would stumble in between songs because I was just like overstimulated, sort of like, whoa, I forgot about this.
I imagine the energy, not only from you guys being out there for the first time in forever, but also from the fans. It's 2 years or more at a show. The energy the exchange must have been incredible, right?
Oh yeah, it's every show has been. I get so excited every day because I just know it's insane. I knew that was a theory. It could have been like a toss of a coin. Like it could have went either way. But one of the theories was like, oh, people will miss shows so much. It's going to be so awesome when it comes back. Like that was one of the theories. You're like, yeah, I really hope so. And it's totally exactly how it was. People miss shows so much, and it's insane.
Because you were gone for an extended period of time, was there any concern about the fan base still being there and that sort of thing? Because I mean, it looks like they welcomed you with open arms. I'm looking at the number of views on the video and what I've seen everywhere. It's pretty amazing, what a rabid fan base you have.
Yeah, it's been crazy. We're definitely overwhelmed. Yeah, it's better than we thought it was going to be. We were hoping it was going to be good. It's definitely better than we thought. But one cool thing was like our streams and stuff. Everything like stayed the same. We didn't really have a dip, so that was like, I think we would have handled things differently if there was like a dip. But like since Travels Inside ended at such a high note, it was a nice like time for us to relax. But yeah, we were hoping because we've always been a band that released music every 18 months. So to change that up, we were like, this could be cool because it's the first time we're changing it for our fans that have been with us forever. So instead of 18 months, it was 5 years. So surprise, here's like new music, and it was awesome. So people, and we really worked on it. Like we finished the album, listened to it for 2 months, went back to the studio, deleted a bunch of it, did it again, went back to the studio, deleted. Like we really actually were like, if we're gonna be gone, like let's do something cool. So, and the visuals, like we're doing a lot for this album. So it's not like we were just chilling.
Are you are you planning on the music business has sort of reinvented itself through all the nonsense we've been through? Are you planning on doing the instead of the 18 months record thing, planning on doing more of the like single every 6 weeks because that's sort of the way it goes, or are you going to still do the old school release a full project?
I think we're gonna release a full project, at least for this one. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have more singles for this one though, more visuals, more stuff than usual. But yeah, I think for this one it'll be sort of the same. But I don't know. I like the. I don't know. I guess time will tell. It is cool doing just the song here and there because songs don't get deleted. Sort of, they don't get thrown away. So that's what we've been trying to do for this album is how to. We're doing creative things to include every song in its own way instead of just having the singles, putting it out, pretty much shelving the other 7 songs because like unless you're into a deep cut, they're just gone. So
However, I mean, maybe I'm old school and a bit older than you, so I mean, I'm from that that genre or that time of life where you went and bought the record and you came home and you looked at
yeah,
it, see who everybody thanked and that sort of thing. Plus, I think there was an art in sequencing as well, right? That's getting lost in this whole
hmm
let's do a single every 6 weeks or whatever it is. And I'm not knocking it. It's just maybe I'm just entrenched in my own history, if that makes sense.
no, I feel you, man. It's we used to do that. We used to do the tracks that were in the negative and like we would put like the whole album. It's just weird because like it gets to the point where you have to go with the time. Like you're like, well, I have to
Yeah.
adapt it, and that's why we're just like, I don't know, and that's what this one I'm trying. The hardest thing to go against the grain is to get everyone to sort of pay attention to all 10 songs instead of
Right.
3 or 4. Like just asking that has been an obstacle. So like that's why I'm doing the singles. And I'm like, man, singles actually sounds awesome because like I can't even get everyone to focus on 10 songs. So
So
it's hard, yeah, and not yeah. So it's gonna be cool though. I have cool alternatives I've been working on. So
that's great. So it's you guys have always been pretty lyrically deep or whatever, but especially with Unconquered now, I'm listening to it. Is there a message you want your fans to take away from, or like a great big takeaway after listening to this? May I in the grand scheme or Unconquered more specifically?
yeah. So Unconquered, it's cool. It's we knew when we wrote it, we're like this. We knew like what it would do for the band. But lyrically, originally, it was actually a way. It was a lot more negative of a song. It was like a suicidal song and like a very yeah, it wasn't uplifting. And then we took it in the studio and we actually recorded that, finished it that way. And that was one of the songs when we went back. We're like, we actually should like make this more uplifting. And it's the same sort of concept and same layout of the song, but we changed the perspective of it. But I think for the time it was really cool because that was the first song of the 10 that we really did that to. And it sort of like got us out of the funk to go back and because all the songs were just pissed off because like the last 2 years was brutal. So it was cool it was our first time working with Will Putney, the producer, but it was cool for him to sort of challenge us that way and go back and be like, oh, how can I not be pissed about this? And like rewrite, look at like a positive, look at the cup half full, I guess.
Right. So
Optimistic. Which we've been an optimistic man until this point. It was just
right.
such a brutal time.
So
Yeah.
when
So
you things how you went back and did that, are you do you feel a sense of or sort of responsibility to convey something more in the positive, or is that
oh yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was like sort of a full circle like realization to just have that perspective change of because like so how it's like unconquered banana. It used to be because it was about suicide and it was like about hanging yourself. It used to go red rope. It was saying red rope. Like it was completely different.
wow?
And then we rewrote it and now it is what it is. So but yeah, it's cool though. I like that because there is in that whole I guess project was the objective, and I think like the cool thing of, and that's like the whole album. Oh yeah, album's not announced yet, but it all comes full circle. Cool.
And I think that's cool that people are able to connect with it because, especially on the heavier side of music, coming out of what we've all been through, you need that. It's very cathartic. I mean, at least for me listening to it, I imagine it is for you writing that stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, and that's like that was one of the things that Will said. He's like, hey, if you're bummed and like everyone's went through this, like this is not what people want to hear on the other end of it. And you're like, yeah, I didn't think about that. And it's like, it was like, let's take the pity party out of it. Like, how are we going to get through it? And then it was like, go do your homework. And then we had like, we would just, that was the end of the day. It was no recording. It was like, okay, go do your homework. And I had to go and listen to the song and be like, okay, like what's the resolution? What's the resolution? Like, how would I rewrite this? And then we had to just rewrite everything. But it came out like that was the big rewrite. And I think changing that perspective changed the whole album. So the artwork changed, the album title changed. Like,
everything.
Literally. It like fucking, but it's all for the better. And like Unconquered is just showing proof of that. We're just like, okay, holy shit. And that's like, no, dude, if people think that one's sick, I'm like, wait till you hear the rest. Like, this is so sick. Like, because this album, we didn't really try to like do weird stuff. We just were like, let's do what we're best at. So that was the approach. And it was so less stressful doing it that way. It wasn't like, how are we going to make everyone pay attention? It was like, okay, what are we good at? Why are people listening to us? Let's lean into it. And then we just did that.
Was there a sort of, I don't know what the word is, but were you kind of worried that it wasn't going to be accepted like it was?
Ish. But no, because like, we showed a lot of people along the way. So like we're very social with our music, like within our friend group.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're within our close friends, like you have the Dropbox link and you're hearing every shitty demo like from step one. Because like we like when our friends rip it to shreds. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is cool. Like, that's cheesy. Don't do that. And like we were sending stuff in like, oh, this is cool. And I'm like, that's a little old school. Like, oh yeah, like fucking keep doing that. And we're like, oh, okay. And we're like just kept doing some more of that. We're like, what about this? We're like, because then it got to the point where like, doesn't it sound like when we used to play like floor shows like at a VFW or something? They're like,
right.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's cool, huh? And we're like, that is cool. And I'm like, okay, let's do that a little bit. There was one, I wish, like, I want to send the email so bad. There's one that was so death metal, not even like death metal. It was just so like old school us. We ended up doing a rewrite and making a little bit more modern Miss May, but it was so left field. I was like, people would shit their pants. There's so many things. There's so many things I was like, that I knew like when we submitted it. So how it worked was like we were there the last day, we finished tracking, we submitted it, and then we went home. We're like, okay, that's the end of it. But when we submitted it, I'm like, I guess we're gonna find out what the label says. But we were already leaving the studio, so I'm like, it's fucking over. And then like a month went in and nobody replied to any text or emails. I'm like, it's soaking in. I'm like, we ruffled feathers. I'm like, no one has talked to anybody in like a couple weeks. And then there's this huge email like, hey guys, I think we should go back in and tone it down a little bit. So
I mean, I guess it is what it is, but I just know
I think it's good though. Like I said, it's all for the good.
Right. No, I mean, I guess if you can tweak it and you said you take your friend group that's in that listening, you take what they have to say to heart then, and you guys actually, it's not you're not like, shit, they don't like it. It's pretty much a molding. Is that what I'm understanding?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cause they've been with us since day one and they'll call us on our shit. Like, cause they've seen us, like, we went down like the like commercial route, we've done all that like goofy stuff that make you like trip over your own feet. And they sort of call us on that now, which is nice. Like we'll do like, or we'll have like these opportunities or this, and they'll be like, what do you guys, they're like hey, step outside of the box and now answer the question. You're like, oh, okay, I wasn't looking at it that way. So they keep us grounded. They're good guys.
I just know that I put on, Maria sent it over to me and I popped in that the first note and went, holy fuck, this is crazy good. It's really great to have you back, man. And I was telling my son, who's a huge fan, he used to go to the Warped with me when he was a little kid. And I mean, he kind of grew up seeing you guys, and he's very excited because he still spins I Hate Everything like nonstop all the time.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
What do you guys have planned for the rest of the year then?
We have a lot. Well, not a lot of touring. We have some touring. The cool thing is, like, I think taking touring away, I appreciate it differently now coming back into it. So I think we're bringing a lot more to the table this time around, which I think everyone is across the board, like every band, because I feel like it got so like this is what we do every day. Like, cool. Like, you could like slack a little bit, but now I think everyone like it's such a special thing that everyone gets to do, and it's such a special moment every night. Like when those shows do happen, I think everyone like really appreciates more. Like even seeing what we brought on this tour, and then what All That Remains is bringing, what the other band, like everyone, it's what we've never done before, and it's because everyone's like, well, hey, since we're gonna do this, like we might as well do it because like we know how it is when it's taken away from us. So, and who's to say that freaking one news article goes out and it's all we go home tomorrow? Like let's give them like a show, you know? Like and it takes one tweet, and I'm like, and we're going home.
Yeah, and I think there's also like it's a family, right? I mean, the heavy music world, more so than I think pop music or country. There's a family there, and I think outsiders don't really understand it. But when you didn't have anything for 2 years, I miss the people that I go to shows with or I see it. Even if I don't hang with them all the time, I'm having a beer with them at the show and whatever. You miss them.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, even having that's so surreal. It's like. And we just switched vehicles, and we're like all closer together now. We're just so excited. Like it's like I haven't seen these guys in years. It's just it's like a family. It's same with the fans. Like there's fans like, oh yeah, I forgot. I used to see like every 3 months. Like, how have you been? How's the kid? Like, what's up? It's crazy.
How is it gonna be working touring into being a new dad?
It's cool. I get a little bit spoiled. Hopefully Justin does in the future. But the fam's coming out with me. They come out in like a week, so they're coming out every other week. We're gonna try it out. But yeah, no, it's cool. They love it. They've already come out 2 days. It's cool. It definitely is different. But it changed my perspective because we've been doing it for so long. It's actually like I see it through a whole new like eyes now. It's like revitalized everything because like. Now I like now I want to when they come out like let's go see a museum that's close. Let's see some history in this town. Let's do and it's like I played this venue 12 times. I've always went to the same taco spot and then we play a show and it's like hey let's turn right. Let's go right down this street because there's instead of left, which I've went left for a decade. Let's turn right and there's probably a playground or some cool spot.
That's awesome. I don't really have anything else, man. You look great. I'm glad you're back. So great to have you back in the South.
Man. Thank you.
Did I miss anything?
Thank you, man. It's going to be fun. Yeah. No. This new song, Unconquered. There's a bunch of new stuff coming.
Thank you so much for taking the time. It's going to be crazy. Stay safe. It's really good to see you back.
Appreciate it. It's good seeing you, man.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah.